With the third race of the 2021 NASCAR Cup season coming to us in just a few days, and it being held at Homestead Miami Speedway, there's only one driver on everybody's mind as we're coming into this weekend, and that's Kyle Larson. With him likely being the favorite to win this weekend at Homestead Miami Speedway, along with perhaps Tyler Reddick, I decided to take a look back into his results at Homestead Miami Speedway, see just how good he really is, and if he deserves to be so praised for his ability to run the highline around this track, and to just see if he's underrated or overrated here. Kyle Larson was only making his fourth career Cup Series start when in the 2013 schedule, he had to drive his first race at Homestead Miami Speedway, and at his first outing at the track, he finished 15th, had a single lap lead, and had a 20 average position throughout the race. And although this doesn't sound like much, it's a decent base to build off of when you're talking about a rookie, and especially one in the top series of NASCAR. In 2014, Kyle Larson finished 13th in this race, led 0 laps, and had an average position of 11th throughout the race. And although it's not the best result, it's still an improvement from 2013. And considering he was still a rookie at this point, it's a pretty good result. And it's also just building up and up so that he can learn more on how to race at the track, how to use the top groove to his advantage, and all that other good stuff so he can truly become a force at the track and a threat to win every time that NASCAR goes to Homestead. In 2015, Kyle Larson finished 5th, he led 2 laps, and he had an average position of 7th throughout the race. Now, this isn't exactly the best result, but it's still a pretty big improvement from 2014, and once again, this is just building blocks so that he can get better at the track, and he's also learning all the grooves so he knows where to make his passes and how to save up his tires so that he's in the mix at the end of the race when it really counts. And if I recall correctly, he and Brad Keselowski were 2 of the better cars throughout this race, but in the end, it was Kyle Busch who came out victorious over the both of them, as all the championship cars for the past 7 years in a row have won the race. And, well, I don't know if it's necessarily rigged, but the championship 4 cars are probably allowed to bend the rules a little bit so that they can, have an advantage over all the other teams so that, the champion is the winner of the last race of the season, and it's all like this, big show. That's my guess, at least. In 2016, you could argue this is the first showcase of Kyle Larson's real talent at Homestead. He finished 2nd, led 132 laps, and had an average position of 5th throughout the entire race. And he was leading the race with about 15 or so laps to go when the 32 car spun, saved it, and then NASCAR proceeded to throw the caution even after everyone was congratulating the driver, hey, good job, man, on that save. Probably just, make it so that Carl Edwards wouldn't walk away with the championship and just get some excitement for the final race of the season. And then ultimately there was just chaos ensuing after that race. And then he lost to Jimmy Johnson, who was probably the most clutch driver in the history of NASCAR. So I don't blame Kyle Larson for losing. It's really just a matter of NASCAR wanting some action in the final stages of the race, and for Jimmy Johnson just being the driver you need the most in crunch time when you really need him to perform. In 2017, Kyle Larson finished 3rd, led 145 laps, had an average position of 2 throughout the entire race, and it's reported that after the race, he was talking about how he held back so that he could let Martin Truex Jr. and Kyle Busch battle out for the championship, because in the Xfinity race the day before, Elliott Sadler lost the championship to William Byron because of a lap car, getting in the way, or I think it was a lap car at least. And so obviously Kyle Larson doesn't want that kind of reputation on his name to, be the guy who cost Martin Truex Jr. or Kyle Busch or whoever else it may have been a championship. So if there wasn't, just if NASCAR just didn't want this playoff system format to just be having Game 7 moments every single year, if the format just wasn't so wacky, Kyle Larson probably would have won this race because he absolutely dominated, and he conveniently fell off after stage 2 to let Martin Truex Jr. and Kyle Busch dominate the rest of the race. In 2018, Kyle Larson finished 13th, led 45 laps, and had an average position of 8th throughout the race. And around 20 or so laps before the stage 2 ended, he lost the lead, and then he never got it back again after that. So 2 years in a row, Kyle Larson lost the lead around stage 2. And then so conveniently, only Championship 4 cars were leading the race after that, 2 years in a row. Seems a little bit suspicious to me, but I don't know. It's probably just NASCAR officials telling Kyle Larson to back off so that the Championship 4 can give it a more exciting battle for the win and therefore a more exciting battle for the championship. So once again, I think that if the playoff system wasn't here and if Homestead Miami wasn't the final race of the season, Kyle Larson would have probably won 2017 and 2018 and probably 2016. In 2019, Kyle Larson finished 40th and had an average position of 11th throughout the race with 0 laps led once again. And the reason he finished so low is because he had an engine blow up on him in the race. So you could argue that the reason why he had his worst result at his probably best track is just because of something totally out of his hands. And who knows, maybe he could have gone a top 5 or top 10 at the end of this race. But of course, there's always going to be that X factor of randomness in racing. So who knows what would have happened had Kyle Larson not had an engine go down so unfortunately in the 2019 finale. So all in all, Kyle Larson has an average finish of 13 at Homestead Miami Speedway. And if you take out the race where he finished 40th because of an engine blowing up, he has an average finish of 7.3, which would probably be the best among current drivers. I haven't looked into any other current drivers' average finishes at Homestead, so I don't really know. But if I had to guess, it's probably in the top 3 to top 5. For me personally, I think that Kyle Larson deserves every single bit of praise that he gets for being such a good driver at Homestead Miami Speedway. And the only reason he hasn't won there yet is probably just because of factors that he can't control. So thank you guys for watching this video and listening to me ramble on and on about Kyle Larson. And, well, take care.